Hello, I am Dr. Subhash Waghmare, Department of English, Swami Vivekananda Varishth Mahavidyalaya Mantha, District Jalna. Friends, today we are going to discuss about the poem Robert Frost's The Road Not Taken. Robert Frost is a well-known American poet. He was awarded the Pulitzer Prize in 1924 for poetry 4 times. It is very difficult to understand why Frost is America's favorite poet. And he is favorite because his writing is very simple, he handles very familiar and ordinary things. However, the simplicity is only on the surface. Frost's poem actually talk about ideas and thoughts that are deep, not ordinary. The poem talk about truth and they teach us wisdom. Frost is a poet whose style is as fine as goldsmith skill. His poems are delightful to read. Frost himself has said that for him, a poem begins in delight and ends in wisdom. The present poem, The Road Not Taken, is a poem in 4 stanzas. Frost uses an unusual rhyme pattern. The first line rhymes with the third and fourth lines, and the second line rhymes with the fifth. The rhyme scheme can be written this way: A, B, A, B. The road not taken talks about a problem that many of us face, that of taking a decision about choosing a career for yourself. Frost's poem uses the image of two roads that separate so that the traveler has to choose between one and the other. Which road would be better? Nobody can tell until the end of the road reached. The end of road is of course the consequence of the decision. Was the choice was wise? Is there any regret? These are the questions that the poem asks. These are also the questions that you may one day ask yourselves. Your answer too will depend on the road you choose. So, friends, today we are discussing about the poem which ultimately calls everyone's mind. So, let us see the original poem, The Road Not Taken. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. And sorry, I could not travel both. And be one traveler, long I stood and looked down one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. The poet presents a situation where he has to choose between two paths. Through this stanza, poet discussing about a situation where he stands, and from that place that one road diverged into two. The yellow wood shows that it is the season of autumn. Of course, poet describes that the yellow wood, it means that it is the season of autumn. It also suggests that the speaker himself is no longer very young. Means yellow is a symbol of old age. So poet is talking about his old age also. He is not no longer young. One of the path in the wood curves into bushes, while the other looks as if fewer people has used it. Being one traveler, the confusion before poet is that he cannot travel both roads because he is only one. So he has to select one. One road vanishes into bushes, and one road used by very limited people. Very few people crossed through that road. So, being a one traveler, which road poet should choose? It is a big question for poet. He finally choose the one that looks less used. Now this decision comes, or this decision poet can took only when he thinks a long time. So after long thinking, he decided to choose the less traveled road, but he was firm about his decision because he chose that road which was frequently used by the travelers. So it is ultimately a big risk, but it is because of the decision taken after long thinking, poet chose less traveled route. Now in the second stanza, poet says, then took the other as just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim, because it was grassy and wanted wear, though as for that the passing there had won them really about the same. Now the poet is confused about his decision because whatever decision he is going to take, the consequence comes after he reached the destination. But after that, if his decision is not wise, or if his decision is wrong, he will meet the dead end. So, poet was very confused, but he courageously undertaken the less traveled road. And then poet says, and both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. On I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. Sometimes he feels that if my decision was wrong, then I must leave my career, I must leave my destination and should return back. But because he was very confident and the decision which he has taken, it is taken after long thinking. So he keep that decision final, and now poet is telling the reality of his decision, and says, and I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence, two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. The traveler has made his choice, but he wishes to travel by other road too, the road not taken. He realizes that it is not possible. The suggestions here is that once a certain direction is chosen, there is no turning back. One road leads to another, and it is difficult to change tracks. But in the final stanza, the poet tells that how he was wise to choose the less traveled road. Here, poet thinks about the future when he will understand the consequences of his decision. It is only the future that will tell us whether a particular choice was the right one or not. And the poet says, the poet chose the road less traveled by, and that has made the difference. There is a hint of regret here that maybe because the road less traveled by is also lonely road. Means here poet wants to tell us that no one put that daring to choose the less traveled road. That is, remain calm and quiet. But whatever popularity or whatever I am familiar, only because of that road which I have taken, and that was the road which is less traveled by. So here is big message for every readers that at the turning point we should choose the road, though it is not frequently chosen by other people, but if you choose that road after long thinking, and if you have that capacity to travel through that road, means your destination, you will you will definitely become successful in your career. Poet is become familiar only because of that road which is used by for very less people. And here this poem ends. Thank you.